Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Today we're going to talk about a Linux distribution that was gaining popularity that had a major issue happen with it. And now I see people in different areas of the community spiking interest in it. And it's been a while since what happened with it. So I just wanted to give out this little bit of a warning. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Hey guys, how are you guys doing? Just want to take a minute to ask if you believe in what I'm doing and you like what this channel is about and you like the content that this channel has, why don't you pop on over to our Patreon page over at patreon.com, the LinuxTube, and become a member there. It helps this channel out a long way, and I greatly appreciate it. If you become my first Patreon over there, I will personally thank you as best I can. Appreciate all that you guys do for this channel, and I appreciate your subscription. If you've subscribed to us on YouTube, if not, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tick that notification bell so you're up to date on all the newest videos coming out. Thank you guys so much. Y'all keep on Linuxing and doing what you do. Okay, so what I want to talk about today is a operating system that was known as LinuxFx. And I'm going to take you to the distro watch webpage, and then we're going to see what happens. So here it is. This is the LinuxFx page that are off of distro watch. And on it, it has all its information. It's based out of Brazil, as you can see. It's Ubuntu based. It uses the KDE desktop. It also has a Cinnamon desktop variant as well, which we'll talk about. And so we'll click on its webpage down here, link, which is the linuxfx.org. Now, when we go to this is what it looks like. And if you see in the upper left-hand corner, they've rebranded to WindowsFX. Now, that to me is more than likely because they've lost a lot of membership because of what happened. And what happened was they had a major data breach. They compromised a lot of users' personal information. And they didn't specifically specify what exactly they did. But if you go down to the bottom of the page, you see here where their professional edition is, that they are actually taking money from people. And with that money, you buy a serial key just for the professional edition. And it includes the Android app game support. It includes the WX desktop system settings and tools, the assistant voice, command assistant, their Microsoft Active Directory, the OneDrive file manager, and their wallpapers. That's what you get for the $35 over their free edition, which just gives you all operational features. So their data breach more than likely comprised of them losing all the sensitive information from user names, probably serial numbers that they acquired, and also more than likely credit card information or whatever version of payment method that people used. So that was alarming. The other thing was that I contacted them and I sent them an email about this said breach, and I've yet to hear to this day what it is that they have done to repair this, or what they've done to circumvent this from ever happening again. And they've just haven't even said boo. It's crickets. So I don't know what to tell people. I have no information to instill any kind of confidence in it. I have to go with the lack of confidence in it that has been generated based upon their folly. Now, if you look also on their page, it's got a friendly interface because it takes advantage of the Windows 11 and 10 platform. Runs Android support, which we can talk about that in a minute. Microsoft applications. WindowsFX natively brings the Edge browser, Teams, Skype, PowerShell, Office, offline, code more to their thing, but we'll talk about that as well. The WX desktop interface and the personal assistant and the .exe MS applications. WindowsFX can run various, not all, but various Windows.exe and .msi programs natively with a double click, just like you can in Microsoft. Well, let's address these 6 little points here. Their 6 points are things that you could automatically do in your current distribution of Linux by simply installing out of your distribution's repos certain little sets of programs, which is what they've done. They've installed them and implemented them. That's all they've done. Teams, Edge, and Skype are a simple download out of your repo. PowerShell, I'm not sure if it's that they didn't skin Bash Shell to look like PowerShell. Office Online, well, that's 365 Online. That's all that is. You open up a web browser and you go there. Code, there's different coding programs out there that act like Windows coding, editors out there. I mean, there's tons that you can get. As far as the .exe applications and the .msi applications, that's them simply implementing Wine. And Wine will run a lot of Windows programs in your Linux distribution natively already. Not natively, but like they say, with the double click of a mouse. It's just a matter of downloading it and installing it on out of your repository. So there's nothing new there. The Android support, that's probably Anbox or one of its tons of different derivatives that's out there. Personal Assistant, well, right here it says it. Helloa, WindowsFX Personal Assistant, uses Google Assistant technology. So they ported Google Assistant onto it. And then the desktop interface, well, that's them using the different tools that Microsoft Windows 10 has for like theming and settings. Well, Linux has that too. It's called a settings manager. Yeah, we have that. As far as a friendly interface is concerned, well, if you notice, they're using a KDE Plasma and a Cinnamon version, which we can look down here. So this is their Plasma version, and then if you look here, this is their Cinnamon version. Okay, so basically all they did was download icons and a theme to it to make it look like Windows. You could do that as well in your own distribution of Linux in your own repository. So, once again, what are we paying the $35 for other than they're tricking you, in my mind's eye, to try to think that you're getting a Windows variant of Linux, which does not exist. It's not a variant of Windows at all. It is a themed version of Linux that looks like Windows. So that's it. That's all you're getting for the $35. Stuff that you can do with a little bit of time and a little bit of effort. And I mean little. I don't mean extensive amount of time. It's as simple as opening up your theme manager or going to, a web page online. You can browse how to make Linux look like Windows, and I'm sure you can come up with tens of thousands of pages out there that'll walk you through it that you can do on your own. Now, I'm not saying not to pay developers or not to support developers through donations. There's nothing wrong with that. But as far as buying a fake product key to emulate a Windows experience, come on. That's reaching out there. That's just reaching out there. And my thoughts really are, if you feel the very strong inherent need that you can't use Linux without making it look and feel like Windows, then maybe you should consider not coming to Linux and staying with Windows. If that's really what you want. If you really want Windows that bad, then stay with Windows. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to use Windows. Some people may say so, but the reality is there's nothing wrong with it. It's what works for you. People, oftentimes try to get out of their lanes and get into other lanes, then they're not comfortable with it, and so they wind up going back in their own lane. So, you know, I mean, I have no other way of putting it. And I'm not trying to be Windows bashing or hating or anything like that. But the fact is if it's that bad that you want to make a whole new operating system look and feel just like the old one you're leaving, then maybe you're not ready to leave that one. That's just the nuts and bolts of it. As far as coming over to Linux, I strongly, if you look, just get rid of the iconery that Windows has and just look at the layout of the graphical user interface that you experience in Linux. It already looks and feels a lot like Windows. The application launcher is on the left-hand side on the bottom on KDE and in Cinnamon. Both of those desktops actually exist, and they look the same. They really do. The application launcher is on the bottom. You can actually resize the bar on KDE that's at the bottom to make it look like a floating centered Windows bar, just like Windows 11. I've done it. I one time challenged myself to do it, and I did it. And I did it all within like 2 hours, an hour and a half. You can do it all. You can download icon packages and implement them. I mean, there's so many things you can do with Linux. Also, why not learn Linux? You have a golden opportunity to learn something that's more stable and more flexible. You know, there's even distributions out there that emulate the Mac OS, which Windows 11 was trying to do that with the little centered bar. And also Linux, because we've had that for a while too, with our docks. My thoughts to you are that just before you come over to Linux to make it look like Windows, actually consider, do I really need to leave Windows? And don't fall for the trickery that this company seems to be pervasively pushing, to the point that they've remonikered their name. You know, they're rebranded themselves to WindowsFX. Stay away from these type of distributions, please. Go for the regular, run-of-the-mill, tried and true, full-on Linux experience distributions. Learn a new operating system. Enjoy the freedom that you're going to get from it, because eventually you're going to be able to customize it to much more than looking like Windows. Let me know what you think about what I've said in this video in the comments, please. You guys do what you do. You guys keep on Linuxing, and y'all have a great day. Maybe these guys should have never left Windows as well.